What is the lowest level you can beat Pokemon Red and Blue using a Arbok? We are on to Lorelei. So something to note, we're going to have to hit two 30% chances within 6 tries. I don't know what the math is on that, but I know it's not very high. The reason being is Dugong has good AI and is locked into Rest. So Rest in this is going to make him out for 3 turns. So we're going to have 3 attacking moves to knock out the Dugong. We can't do that at level 38, and now the Cloyster has great defense. We have very bad special, so we are not going to be able to take out the Cloyster with anything but a one-hit KO move. Now that we're on to Slowbro, we can take a little breath. Getting here was a challenge, but we did get here. Because Slowbro has good AI as well, knows a psychic move, so it is going to be locked into an Amnesia. No matter what, it's only going to use Amnesia. Now, while that is nice, it doesn't make everything free, because though it's not going to attack us, its special is very high, so Mega Drain is going to do next to nothing, and then Earthquake is also going to do next to nothing, so it's going to take us quite a bit to get there. Lucky for us, Lorelei only has 2 super potions. If they were max potions or full restores, I don't think we could beat it at this level. However, we are able to take it out. We do get pretty low on our PP points, which is a concern, but that is okay. And the main thing we needed Amnesia for is because on Mega Drain, we are going to need a little more power on that. I believe the base power is only 40. We are level 38 going up against 50 plus Pokemon, or level 50 plus Pokemon. So we are going to need that extra HP. So here we go. We finally get the Slowbro taken care of, and now we are on to the Jinx. Now, even though Jinx has very bad defense, we have to use Mega Drain. If we don't, it's going to end up doing too much damage to us, and it's going to take us out. We like when it goes for Ice Punch. We don't like the idea of possibly becoming frozen, because that is a run ender. However, we do have all that extra special from Amnesia. It gets locked into Thrash, and this is what I was talking about. I did a run where I got here, and I did not use Mega Drain on the first one because I wanted to use Earthquake to do some quick damage, and then we don't have enough to survive. And then same deal here, we're going to use Mega Drain on the Lapras. We just want to keep our HP high. So now Lapras has a very high HP stat, so even though it's not doing a whole lot to Lapras, it does heal us a whole lot, which is nice to see. So assuming we don't get paralyzed or any critical hits or anything, we are going to be okay. Super potions are fine. We have enough PP left. And there we go. That takes out Lapras. So level 39, beating Lorelei. That's pretty sweet. Don't forget to drop a little comment for the algorithm. I appreciate you guys. So the question I ask you is, what is the lowest level you can beat Pokemon Red and Blue using a Arbok? We are on to Bruno. So I promise this won't be a Mimic heavy run, but we are going to go ahead and just Mimic Harden, just to be safe here. This was the second Bruno try, so Bruno is not free. However, for the most part he is. So the basic idea here is we use Mimic, we use Harden a whole bunch. That not only one gives us defense because his team is mostly a physical attacker, but it also badge boosts us until we level up. So that aside, I'm going to start using Bruno to talk about the Pokemon in the run. So Arbok's stats are not terrible. They're relatively well-rounded, so that is kind of nice. Not a glass cannon or anything. And the moves that Arbok can learn really actually gave me pause. Before I even started the run and I was looking at the members and kind of coming up with the strategy, it does know the move Glare, which is a 75% accurate Paralyze move, which is very good. However, in solo runs, things like Poison and Paralyze aren't always the best. I thought Glare might help me with some RNG, but unfortunately, I just needed more moves. Now, Arbok does know moves like Dig, Earthquake, Fissure, which are nice. You know, one-hit KO moves are always good when we're looking for luck. And Dig is great replacement because it is 100 power, 100 base power. So if I did need to delete Earthquake for one run, I would have a backup. And then it knows Rock Slide, which is awesome. A very good move. The accuracy is not great, but it helps with our coverage a lot. And then it has your typical Double Edge, Hyper Beam, Body Slam, Substitute Rest, all that good stuff. So there's a lot going on, a lot of thinking had to go into what moves that I want to know. Because of course I'm going to face a Blastoise at the end, so I want to keep Mega Drain, but I also need it for Lorelei. So it's, you know, a matter of, can I keep it the whole run, can I not, and what are we going to do without it? And then just for fun, I go ahead and Fissure this Machamp. So that's Arbok for you. It's a pretty fun Pokemon. So overall, but the question I ask you is, what is the lowest level you can beat Pokemon Red and Blue using a Arbok? We are on to Agatha. So in this run, I did have to delete Mega Drain, which is a little unfortunate because it wasn't helping me on Agatha and it wasn't going to help me on Lance. The only thing it was really going to help against was the Blastoise at the end. So I said, okay, well, we're going to get rid of that. And we do have Earthquake. So what is nice is we're going to be able to Earthquake all the Ghost Pokemon. We do not have to mimic Nightshade in this one, which is sweet. But I did have to learn Rock Slide, which is going to help me against Agatha and Lance. So that is why we are on Rock Slide, strictly because of the Golbat. If it wasn't for the Golbat, I probably could have got by without it. Maybe use a PP up on the Earthquake. The Golbat's going to help me out there. The Golbat knowing Haze is honestly probably helped me more than it's hurt me. I am not outspeeding a lot of these ghost Pokemon, or any Pokemon for that matter, which is a little unfortunate because it's going to give Agatha more time to do her shenanigans to me. However, I really wanted to keep this Arbok at a low level. It's been doing good so far. It has the tools to take care of Agatha. When we are using Nightshade, we really don't have an option because Nightshade's power is based off your level. But now that we have a move like Earthquake that's super effective, we are going to be able to keep this nice low 42. So that takes care of 3. Out comes Arbok. Arbok uses Acid. That's fine. Our physical defense is pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and Earthquake the Arbok. Arbok goes for Screech, fails. That is fine. At this point, we are just... there's not a whole lot the Arbok can do, really. So we're just taking care of this Arbok. What we do need to worry about is the Gengar. So a Confuse Ray and a Nightshade could put me out, so we just don't want to see that. Toxic won't work on me, so that is nice to see. So not ideal, but still doable. I think we got great confusion luck on this whole one. I don't think I hurt myself with confusion very much at all. We see the Toxic, we get past the confusion. Look at us go. That's Agatha at level 43. Let's see what happens. So the question I ask you is, what is the lowest level you can beat Pokemon Red and Blue using an Arbok? We are on to Lance. So for Lance, once we get to level 45, we start to outspeed the Gyarados, which is crucial. And then once we get to level 47, that is when we start to 3-shot the Gyarados with our Rock Slide. Now, getting past Gyarados is a bit of a struggle, just because it is such a powerhouse. And we are not that tough. We are only level 47. However, we do get past the Gyarados. Now, what is nice for us is we are on to the Dragonair, which is going to be locked into using Agility. It does this for the same reason that Lorelie was locked into her moves. It is the good AI working against itself. So I got rid of Mimic because initially I was going to Mimic Agility to help outspeed the Aerodactyl and potentially be able to use it for a badge boost, but my levels just weren't working right and it just wasn't going the way I thought. So for the first time ever, we are using Rest in a run. So the reason we use Rest is because Gyarados just destroyed us and the Dragonairs can't really touch us. So I figure it's better to have more HP and potentially tank something that Aerodactyl throws at us rather than be faster than it. So we're going to go ahead and take out the Dragonair. I did toss around the idea of, instead of Rest, pulling out Substitute, but the issue there would be that if the Gyarados took us down to such a low level, we wouldn't have enough HP to use Substitute, and also that would only give us one move, where if the Aerodactyl uses something like Bite, it would potentially give us more than one tank opportunity against the Aerodactyl. So the Aerodactyl comes out, it uses Supersonic. We don't love that, but I use the Rock Slide because Earthquake won't affect. It says super effective, so we'll take it. It goes for a takedown, does quite a bit, but the recoil puts it in a good position. We get through the Confuse Ray, and just a sliver of health there. Supersonic, lucky us. We get through the Confuse Ray, but we miss. Such luck, but such unluck at the same time. And we get through the last Confusion. How beautiful. Didn't hit ourselves once in Confusion. That is luck if I have ever seen some luck. But little spoiler, it's not the most lucky we get in this run, so stay tuned. So I'm confused no more. I go for the Rock Slide, and Dragonite's going to have the same deal. It's going to be locked into Agility or Barrier. We don't really want to see Barrier for our PowerPoint issue, but Agility is good here, and we go ahead and take out the Dragonite in one more Rock Slide. So only really 2 Pokemon we had to worry about, but PowerPoints were working against us here, and we are only level 48. So the question I ask you is, What's a little Salve could be Pokemon Red and Blue using an Arbok. We are on to Blue. Okay, so I did this over live and this was absolutely crazy. We are level 60. It is unfortunate. However, the Alakazam is near undefeatable. I played this so many times. Could not get through it. Some of it was my own fault because I was trying to use a one-hit KO move against a Pokemon that had a higher speed than me, and in Gen 1 that doesn't work. That being said, we got to a point where Rock Slide becomes a 2-hit KO, giving us a more reliable run to get to Alakazam with full health. I got rid of Rest. I was using Rest that I was going to use on the Rhydon, but I changed it out for Substitute. Now, I was in live, and I accidentally did not use Substitute. So everyone in here thought, okay, well, it's over. It was a Psychic, and I was just saying, okay, well, am I going to tank this one? I didn't think I was going to. And look at us. We tanked it. Not out of the woods yet, though. So I go for an Earthquake. Alakazam could easily just hit us with the move next turn. No big deal. And the run would be over. But I was like, well, let's just play it out. So we're in there. We're kind of hoping. I mean, maybe it goes for a Reflect. But I didn't even notice. The Psychic lowered our special, which gave us a badge boost, which gave us enough speed to outspeed the Alakazam. Wild. So wild. So we're freaking out in the live. That's where this little pause is. We're going, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Because the luck to get that series of events to happen was pretty sweet already. And it was already off a mistake that I had made by not using Substitute. Should I have used Substitute? I think things would have gone a lot better. But we still couldn't tank 2 moves with Substitute because Substitute takes our HP. So we go ahead and go for Earthquake. Does not knock out the Rhydon, but it does use Leer, which is fine. So we end up being able to use another Earthquake to knock it out. Now the Rhydon was never much of an issue or a concern. However, it was sweet to see that happen. Now I thought I'd be able to one-hit KO the Arcanine. However, Earthquake does not do enough damage, just barely, maybe level 63, and I could have, but it goes for Roar. So we get lucky there. Now don't blink. Nobody blink. I know I'm at a high level, but let me tell you how lucky this was for this to happen. So we go for Executor. I have nothing I can do. I got to knock it out in one move. We hit the Fissure. Okay? Sorry, my Snapchat's going wild. The live was going wild. There's only about 5 of us in there, but it didn't matter. We were going wild. And I told him, I said, mute your mics right now, because if we hit this last one on the Blastoise, because there's nothing we can do. We have to Fissure. 2 Fissures in a row. Look at that. It was so sweet. Such a hype moment. Thank you guys for being there with me for that. That was awesome to be able to share that moment with you guys. That's a world record. I'm going to die with that one. So the question I ask you is,